This is a Russian submarine. It's Foxtrot series, and there's a story behind it. Not of this exact one, but one exactly of this one. This guy, his name is Vasily Arkhipov. The story is that back in the 60s, right in the middle of the missile crisis when Kennedy was president, the United States was very well, the United States government was very fearful of Russia. They were not friends. That's because Russia wanted to put nuclear missiles in Cuba, and the United States would not allow that. There were even threats between Nikita Khrushchev and Kennedy. Kennedy saying that if they went ahead and installed the missiles, they were just going to be blown out by the United States. And so the story of this submarine, or one similar to it, and the captain, is that the Navy, right in the middle of the crisis, discovered this submarine, well, not this one, but exactly one, the same, close to the waters in Cuba. So they spotted the submarine. An aircraft carrier, a destroyer, and several other ships from the Navy were sent, and they couldn't communicate either with the Russian government, or the Russian government wouldn't recognize that there was a submarine there. So they just started throwing charges to blow up the submarine. Inside the submarine, there were three officials: the captain, the first officer, and a representative of the government, communist government. The first officer and the representative urged the captain to strike back. The only problem is that they had a nuclear torpedo. So if they struck back with a nuclear torpedo, that would be the start of a nuclear war. They had a very big argument inside the submarine. The two officers against the captain. The captain did not want to start a war, so he said that there wasn't a war. Now you got to remember that the submarine was submerged. They couldn't communicate with Russia. They didn't know if they really were already in war. So all the decision to use the weapons, they had to be three unanimous decision, the two officers and the captain. But if either one would not decide to go ahead, they couldn't do it. So the captain stood by his decision. He was not going to shoot the torpedo, but they had to surface because they had to charge their batteries. So up they went. They found out that there was no war. They talked to the Navy officials, and they let them go. They didn't want to start more of a conflict with Russia. So thanks to that captain that he decided not to shoot the nuclear torpedo, the United States and Russia did not go into a nuclear war. That's why they say that this captain actually saved the world from a nuclear war. And it's a true story. That's a story that is being told inside the submarine on a video there. So we're going to go inside the submarine now.
An attack by the Soviet Union on the United States, requiring a full retaliatory response of the Soviet Union.
The subs continue undeterred, hiding from the dozens of American submarine vessels and aircraft now crisscrossing the ocean. Using active sonar, the Americans briefly walk with the Soviet subs, and then lose them in the depths. It's a game of cat and mouse. Yet on board one sub, the B-59, conditions are deteriorating. Lacking air conditioning and atmospheric controls, the sub grows warmer and warmer in tropical seas. The temperature reaches 120 degrees on board. Carbon dioxide and other atmosphere contaminants rise to dangerously high levels. Fresh water is running out. Communication with Moscow is impossible when the submarine is submerged. Yet so close to the American coastline, the Russians can pick up panic news reports from local radio stations. At 10 a.m. on October 27th, the American destroyer USS Coney establishes solid sonar contact with the B-59 just south of Bermuda.
I made it. More little rooms.
Where's the generator? Oh, the generators are up. Pumps. Oh, the air pumps. Oh my god, those are giant turbos.
Yeah.
Holy moly. And those are the
Hey.
water to air intercoolers.
It's a what?
That's an intercooler.
Oh, intercooler.
The
Okay.
turbo compresses the air and that intercools it. It looks like it's water to air. It's real small.
Oh, okay.
Wow. But I don't see the generators. I guess they're under here.
There's 27 dogs for 56 men, and they each slept for 4 hours. I just rolled off the loft.
That is the electric motor. Control.
Four Soviet submarines returned to the USSR. Despite the hopeless circumstances of their mission, the captains of the subs were harshly criticized by their superiors at the Kremlin.
Here's the generators. Oh, no, those are like
Inside the B-59 was locked away in Soviet archives. It was only at a conference in Havana in 2002 that testimony began to shed light on how, as the world
good
edged
enough.
toward war, extreme conditions on
Could be better hiding in there.
Wow.
Because he was preparing food.
pushed crew to their brink.
I'm between the doctor too.
Although Soviets stayed low enough to be grateful that in that desperate moment, the sweltering cabin of a diesel submarine, cooler heads prevailed.
I want to see the video. I want to see the video.
When the B-59 came to the surface on the night of October 27, 1962, it was surrounded by U.S. Navy vessels and aircraft. The American destroyer, the USS Coney, signaled the Soviet sub to see if they needed assistance. It was at that moment Captain Valentin Savitsky understood that the Soviet Union and United States were not at war.
Wow.
With great relief, he replied that no assistance was needed. At first light the next morning, American warships came by for a closer look. The submarine floated by to the southern line, and emerged to greet Russia.
Well, that was the Soviet submarine.